Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. 11:11 a.m. This is a spiritual number to me, been popping up. We all get these numbers. 444, 555, 333, recently 333 and 11:11. So I just noticed that. Well, now it's 11:12, but anyway, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kodash. Now a thun called Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kodash. Now a thun is from the Hebrew word Nathan, which means give, and the wa Nawathan. The second, so you got na wa. The wa makes it present tense, giving, like the word ing. Take the word drive or driving. I will drive to the store. I am now driving, present tense. So Nathan is give and Nawathan is giving. Kal, all. Halalium, all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name is Yahweh, and Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And the Holy Spirit represents the spirits, the spirit of wisdom, the angels, the whole spiritual makeup in the Godhead, so to speak. When you go to the book of Revelation, the our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is the beloved Son, spiritual Son, we are also sons also of the Heavenly Father, which are two separate entities. And he was created by the Father. That's in Colossians 1:15, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to go to it. Somebody can put it in there in the comments section of the premiere. And the Holy Spirit represents the rest of the spiritual makeup of the Most High and his beloved Son. Like I said, Revelation, the Lord did show himself in a vision to John, the apostle, or John the Revelator, but he also sent angels to give him prophecies. In Revelation 19, John goes to bow down to this angel, and he said, "Don't bow down to me. I am a fellow brethren." So we are brethren to the angels, which means we are angels. When we go back in the spiritual realm, we go back into our angelic bodies. Anyway, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakah Kodash. I'm going to entitle this Romans chapter 2, verse 28 and 29. And I'm going to use a Bible commentary. Also, the Moors are not Moabites. And various topics. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, I came across this video. What I did, I typed in why I left the Hebrew Israelites. And not too many videos came up on that subject. Excuse me. Forgive me. Anyway, Romans chapter 2, verse 28 and 29 was an up and coming video that Vocab will release. Let me do this here. Oh, just as a side note, I've been watching this IUIC fact check. This is put up by a particular group called the BOCC. One of the members had ran into us about a month ago. Anyway, they broke off from Bishop Nate and the whole 12 tribes. And this is one of the videos, the newest videos that were put up. Bishop Nathaniel of IUIC, former deacons. He does not want you to hear from. And yeah, these are guys that kind of broke off with the splits. And they kicked us out of school over the Cornelius thing. I believe this is he looks like from Boston, Ra'am, I believe. Anyway, yeah, there goes that demon, Saadia. Oh, and by the way, this thing about IUIC saying, keep the laws, keep the laws, keep the laws. They got it from this demon and this demon, Saadia and the Rum. And they from Boston. And now they have they together, all their members went back into the world, so they're by themselves. They're not doing too much. But all these people here pretty much went, they're not teaching. So I'll take it that they went back into the world. Hey, you got so-called Bishop Nathaniel, and this guy is Rahab, another demon. This is Yaasha. And they kind of broke off from Nate. So after they so-called kicked us out of school, these are some of the main guys. Where is he? Where did he go? There's another guy, another demon. They became reservoir dogs. Here he goes, Rahab. Oh, this guy committed adultery with Barak's wife, and everybody knew that was Barak's wife because they would go home hand in hand. He snuck up on her and popped her, and he should have got kicked out. But the school was real weak back then. There was no real leadership structure there, and I wasn't the top leader. So, and that's why you have camp leaders. But in this video right here, these a couple of them are speaking. They go into the detail, and they go back as far back as the 90s, the One West days. So they speak on the split, which, by the way, Bishop Nathaniel, Yaasha, Rahab, they kind of had a secret thing to this demon, I forget his name. They had a secret thing to leave the leadership of the school. And they didn't tell me about it. They didn't tell the leadership about it, but they used King Masha, because if they left on their own, nobody would follow them. They followed them because they were following King Masha. They were the ones that got to King Masha's ear to not be with the 12, which then their whole gospel has nothing to do with the One West gospel, because guess what? There's the three. You got Abba that came on the scene, going back into the history. Abba that came on the scene, and he had a big congregation. He broke off from the commandment keepers. And when he had passed, the three that were left was Masha, Arya, and Yaquab. So that's a fulfillment of Malachi 4. The father to the children, and children to the father, least I come and smite the earth with a curse. So when these individuals, when they secretly got together and he said, fuck Ariyah in the council. And Mo even got mad at it. King Mashar said, you better read the 3rd chapter. So when that happened, I'm trying to get my mind together. That was the order, the 3. So for you to split the 3 up, that's wickedness. That's why Bishop Nate or none of these other men, which all these guys are pretty much not in the seat. I believe they still teaching, but I don't know where he's at. Yash, I ran into him a couple of years ago. We talked briefly. Matter of fact, I had picked up his daughter in front of his house. He had the laws on his gate, the front gate of his house. So he still acknowledges that he's an Israelite. He just doesn't go out and speak and push his word. And the ones that are out here teaching his word and pushing his word are most likely the prophets. We are obligated to going out there every weekend and doing the sit downs. And you have other guys that kind of, simmer off, and they might still know they're Israelites, but they're not on the highways and the byways and not pushing the word. Basically, these guys, this was a clique. That's all that was a clique. And there's cliques going on in GMS. And you guys in GMS that are doing these underhanded things, you're gonna be fine. We dealt with this, brother. We dealt with this. Like the Corey, Dayton, and Abiram. Well, you got Corey, Dayton, the spirit of Corey, Dayton, and Abiram back here again. And they're going to be destroyed. The ground is going to open up and they're going to suck them in. I'm talking about among GMS. You still got a lot of niggas in GMS. Remember that. And it's a matter of time before they are manifested. Okay, so these individuals, they mentioned my name that when the split came, and vocab Malone wants to have an interview with me, and I want to have an interview and find out, well, everything that you already got the information, because prior to that major split, everything was cool. Brothers went to class, they taught, they moved up in rank. Some of them became teachers. Some of them fell off. There was nothing but brotherhood. But then this right here, this is when all the damn drama started. When these guys said we're gonna start our own thing, and we're gonna use King Mashar as how can I say? But like I said, they couldn't bring all these people to themselves without King Mashar. Then when they got King Mashar where they wanted him, they basically said, well, King Mashar, you stay home, we'll deal with it, and kind of pushed him out. And then eventually said he was a demon. And I told Mo that because I was still secretly talking to King Mashar after I got kicked out. And that came back to them. And I told Mo, I said, look, they're going to wind up kicking you out too. And he didn't believe that. And sure enough, they did like a spiritual coup against this guy. So this guy right here, he's got a lot to answer. He's got a lot to answer for, Now, I said in a previous video, I believe he's one of the elect. And yes, this is my personal opinion, I could be wrong. But he is teaching, but he's not teaching the full truth, and he's not dealing with this wicked, which was evil, bro. Scriptures speak about, dissension and, well, that's in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. The various groups, the various cliques. But like I said, all these guys here are back in the world. Some of them are dead. Some of them probably drugged out, whatever. Some of them probably went back to Christianity. It said, many are called, but few are chosen. Now I'm gonna say this: 12 Tribe Israelite Church during the 90s, church locations, New York, Connecticut. The first Connecticut Israelite school was set up. I was the head teacher of that because it was a small group, but they needed some sort of guidance. So it was myself, Apostle Gabar, and Apostle Ricardo went up there. And then Yasha used to come up a lot because we used to film up there. Matter of fact, we used to get up there at about 9 o'clock, eat something, and we would film until 5 in the morning. We would do a lot of you know, what do you call that? Do a lot of videos that would be cut up in the hour sections. So we might do, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, 12. We might do 10 shows. But anyway, Connecticut, the 12, whatever. This is before they were the 12 Tribe Production and all that. Connecticut was just guys that got kicked out and kind of left from our group. And what happened was they got together and they were dealing with these guys, and then they kind of went on their own and they split up. They all went to separate ways. Some of them are dead. Where the hell is Atlanta? Okay, there's Atlanta. So there's a little bit of history, but these individuals right here, they BOCC. I don't know why, and they broke off from the IUIC, but I don't know why they were the CC, meaning Church of Christ or whatever. What is it? Branches of Christ Church. Why would you use the word Christ or Jesus? We're Israelites. We're not supposed to use the word Christ. Oh, that's the English way of saying. No, the English way is anointed. And the English way of saying Yahweh is not Jesus. The English way of saying Yahweh is he delivered. Just looking at this. Okay, so let me get into my subject. Okay, I said this. Let me bring this up. All right, this guy was somebody went on Apostle Ramlah's live stream, and he said, I want to challenge you GMS guys." And I clicked on the guy's name. He got no videos. He just came up. "I've been dealing with you guys. I've been wanting to debate you guys for 10 years. So he set up a thing in 2021, no information. If you feel this guy's the truth, where you gonna get the information from? Nothing. So we don't even know who this guy is. So where would I say I was gonna go? Oh yeah, vocab. And as a side note, you may want to become a vegetarian or a vegan, because what they're doing now is they're putting the vaccination, they injecting it in meat. I have to watch that story. So they're gonna get you to get it. Okay, and the mass of the people, they don't know what's going on. They're like roaches. So let me click on here. I'll give you it in a minute. Bear me for a minute. I don't know if he took it down. And all you Christians are going to die. You're not going to make it. He's bringing this shit up again. It's almost in January, the anniversary of the 400-year false prophecy. Okay, Dallas Israelites cover Mike to avoid Romans 2, verses 28 and 29. And I'm going to read it and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go right into this, put it up here like that. Romans 2, verse 28. And I'll watch the video. I'll speak on it after the video comes up, but I already know what he's going to say. I just want to see how these Israelites in Dallas deal with that. Doesn't mention what group in Dallas. Okay, so it says here, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither that circumcised, which is outward in the flesh. You know what I got to do also? Let me bring this over here. And this is very easy. Romans 2, 28. Now let me do this. So you get the understanding, really starting from the first verse, impartiality of the Most High. And then it says, after this, above the 17th verse, the Jew is condemned by the law. So the subject matter is the Jew, or are the Jews, right? Or the Judah, or Israel. Judah meaning Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So you really got to read the whole chapter. You really got to read the whole chapter. I'm going to jump around. Oops. Do this. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, old man. And he's talking to the Israelites in Rome, the Jews in Rome, but he's also talking about the Israelites in the Gentile state of mind, we use that terminology, who's coming into the fold. So you had these Jews saying you got to keep the law and you got to keep this. That's what it's all about. So he's really cursing out the ones that, you know, came up being Jews. For wherein thou judgest another, thou condemneth thyself. Right, because you had the they certainly they accepted the fact that Gentiles, meaning Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites, waking up into this truth as being Israelites, but they were looked at as Gentiles by the actual Jews. So this is what this is all talking about. So he's talking to two groups here, but he's cursing out the Jews concerning the Gentile Israelites. But we are sure that the judgment of the Most High is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinketh thou this, O man, that just judgest them which do such things or commit sin. So you're doing this, you can't eat pork, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you got to keep the Sabbath. What did Paul say in Colossians 2 verse 16? Let no man judge you concerning meats and Sabbath day and new moons, which is the shadow of things to come. What do you mean by that? The shadow of things to come, meaning the kingdom, which proves to you that in the kingdom of heaven we're going to be keeping the high holy days. It tells you that, what is that? Either Jeremiah 14 and 16 or 16 and 14. I'm not going to go to it. But it says, we're not, matter of fact, let me go to it. Let me just go to it and grab another tab right here. Jeremiah. Let's try 14. That's a good precept right there, but I'm not looking for that. Let me see. 16, verse 14. (16 and 14). Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. In other words, it's going to be a new deliverance. We're still going to remember the Egyptians. We're going to keep the Passover, but we're going to have a new high holy day. It said, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, North America, and from all the lands, because we're scattered. Deuteronomy 28:64, and many other scriptures. I mean, you can just do a lesson just on the word scattered. Whether he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land. Now, these small hats use that to say, see, the Lord brought, no, the Lord didn't bring you back. It was the Rothschilds in the U.S. and certain elites that brought you back to call themselves fulfilling prophecy, which you're not the people. You are definitely not the people, because the laws are not, people are not flocking to you to learn the laws. You don't even got to keep you can go to Israel. You don't got to keep the Sabbath. You can do whatever. You can commit adultery. You can be a moe. You can change your plumbing. You can be a person that's into pedophilia and bestiality. You can eat pork. You can do whatever the hell you want. So how in the hell is that the fulfillment of the people coming back? That's why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to destroy you. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So if the Lord brought you back to the land, why do you need billions of dollars from the U.S. government? See, you work to give tax dollars so they can give money to these various countries, man. You American people are fucking simple, stupid, dumbasses. Behold, I will send for many fishes, saith the Lord, and that's a destruction. But this is the main verse. It says, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel, the sons of Israel, that's the word there is sons, Bunyam, from the land of the north, which is North America, and from all the lands whither ye have driven them, and I will bring them again into their land, Palestine, that I gave unto their fathers. So this is getting ready to happen. So let's come back over here. Third verse. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things and doeth the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of the Most High? You break the law, ultimately you're going to be judged for it. There's certain laws unto death, right? Now, the Israelites that were in a Gentile state of mind, they were breaking the law all the time because they didn't know to keep the law. The law wasn't given to them. So when they came into the fold as knowing that they're Israelites, starting with Cornelius, You had the ones that knew that they were Israelites that were born into the circumcised on the 8th day and keeping the Sabbath and so forth. They were pushing it. Now you got to keep the Lord. Now you got to keep the Lord. That's why a very important chapter is Galatians, the 3rd chapter. Really, the whole book of Galatians. I got to go back into that. I mean, you can just go into the book of Galatians and just do a study on that. Galatians 1, Galatians 2, Hebrews, that's another one. There was the Apostle Paul that, gave the understanding of Melchizedek, because they didn't give you the understanding of Melchizedek in the book of Genesis. The Apostle Paul further goes into Melchizedek. Why? Because Melchizedek told him Yahushua is Melchizedek. He said, look, I'm Melchizedek. Back then, I didn't have no father, no mother. I just materialized from the spiritual realm to the physical realm, the terrestrial realm, and I had a crown on my head, and I was ruling. And Abraham gave him tithes, and all this bullshit. Oh, tithes is wheat and corn and bullocks. It's not money. Well, you don't understand. You're not knowing the scriptures. It said that Abraham was rich in gold and silver and cattle and in land. I don't know if it mentions land, but cattle, but you need a land to have the cattle. And that's in Genesis. And it said that after the slaughter of the kings, the Canaanite kings, he met with Melchizedek, king of Shalom, which means king of peace, which is Yahushua, and one of his many bodies. And it said he gave a tenth of all that he had. What does the word all mean? Everything that he had. He had gold, he had silver, he had cattle. And of course, you have to have land and everything else that's on the land. So he was a farmer, you can say. So was money a part of that? You got damn right. That's why you got to deal with GMS. We go into the scriptures, man. You're not going to get all this extracurricular bullshit, these cookouts and these marches. You're just going to get the straight truth. That's it. We give you the straight truth out of the scriptures. The term straight, no chaser, we give you it straight, no chaser. And that's why you get offended. Hey, when Brother Polite rolled up on us and about the whole grape doctrine, we gave him the straight truth, no chaser. And we said, maybe you got your woman around, maybe she can deal with it. No, she couldn't deal with it. You couldn't deal with it. You acted just like Neo in the Matrix. When the truth was given to you, you vomited all up. And then at the same time, all these Israelite groups became Neos. They started vomiting it. Morpheus says, welcome, this is the real world. And he showed nuclear destruction. And he said, no. Then he threw up. That's what you guys did. All of you guys did that, man. All of you guys did that, even to this day. Go to any Israelite group out there outside of GMS and ask them. And then the guys that fell off, that had no problem with it, that fell off from GMS, see that whole great thing, we ain't dealing with that because you were a hypocrite, man. Like I said, you got a lot of niggas in GMS, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to get rid of all of you niggas in GMS, all of you demons in GMS. Read the book of Jude. I'm a little all over the place, but that's all right. If you don't like it, you can move on. Keep it moving, as they say. So it says, or I can't wait till this video come up with Vocab Malone about Romans 2, verse 28 and 29. And I want to see the reaction of these Israelites. And if I see that they don't know how to deal with it, I say, you have no business being out there because you didn't eat the full roll. This is easy work, easy work. Or despise thou the riches of his goodness and forbearance and love, long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of the Most High leadeth thee to repentance. So you can see he's talking to the Jews. He's cursing them out in Rome. But after, he wasn't talking to Roman so-called white people. He's talking to the Israelites in Rome. How do we know they were Israelites in Rome? Because this is in the scriptures, Acts 18, and also in secular history, that Claudius, the Caesar, the emperor at that time, he banished all the Jews and the Christians. And those Christians were Israelites that believed in Yahushua. But then you had Jews that just practiced being Israelites that didn't accept Yahushua. But what they were doing, like we do now, all these camps that you see, there should be 1 million camps out there. That's a number I'm throwing out. There should be camps all over. Anytime you drive down the street in a city, there should be a camp. You drive about for 5 minutes, there should be a camp on the corner. You drive another 3 blocks, 4 blocks, there's another camp. That's how it's supposed to be. What does Luke 10, starting from the first verse, the first couple of verses say? It says the fields is ripe unto repentance. He said, but we lack laborers. The fields are ready to be harvested, ready to be plucked, but we lack laborers. Pray to the Father that the Most High bring laborers. A lot of you guys ain't laboring, man. A lot of you guys ain't raising hell. And then the great vehicle that we use, we don't got all the different camps that we set up. We set it up through YouTube. We said, look, just make yourself a camp. The first guy that gets it, he becomes a leader. Then you have a leadership. Then you got newer guys that come in. That's how it's set up. You don't see the leadership going on planes and going all over. We don't have to. Now, Paul did it with the 5 journeys. There was 3 initial ones, but there was 5 altogether going to the history. This is the journeys when we go on YouTube. And a lot of you Israelites out there that woke up to the fact that you're Israelites, that watch the videos, a lot of you watch this to be entertained. You're an Israelite and you watch the video to be entertained. And that's a fact. Ain't no way in hell you're going to have a guy, an Israelite, a former One West, to do a video and they get 30,000 views inside of one day or half a day. Now, if that's the case, there should be thousands upon thousands of Israelites out there on the highways and the byways. There should be thousands upon thousands of YouTube pages teaching, not setting up a YouTube page with no material on it, no information on it, no videos, no nothing, and you going around scoffing people. Most High going to destroy you. But after that, thy hardness and impudence, lack of power, impotent heart, treasureth up unto thyself a wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of the Most High. Because there's going to be more Israelites that's not going to make it that's going to make it. Give diligence to make that calling and election sure. Who will render to every man according to his deeds. Now, what does it mean by deeds? What does it mean by deeds? You just knowing that you are Israelites not going to guarantee you a ticket on the ship. You have to do deeds. Let's look up the word deeds. Aragon. Business, employment, that which anyone is occupied, that ye be occupied in what? Prophecy. That ye be occupied in, that your work is prophecy. That's in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus. I believe that's 39. I'm not going to go to it, but it says that ye be occupied in prophecy. That which one undertakes to do. What is the word? What is do? Do is an action word. What is that? Adjective, if I'm saying it right. Matter of fact, let me do this just to get my grammar correct. Let me bring this over here. You go to run, run. Meaning. Give me a damn movie. Run, meaning. Give me a second. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me try this. Let me try this way. Drive. Okay, it's actually a verb. Okay, it's a verb. Let me see, fast. Oh, it's a verb. Jeremiah 16, I'm right with that. Okay, so let me come back over here. So do, I'm sorry, let me come back. Okay, deeds. This is what I wanted. Deeds. Deeds. Ergo, to do that which one undertakes to do. You come into this fold, you do the work. If you fall off, all that work that you did, you do this thing for 20 years, you fall off the last year, you're not going to be, the Lord's not going to say, well, you did 20 years of work, so I'm going to save you for that. No, you lose all that. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Enterprise, right? Undertaking, any product, whatever, anything accomplished by hand, heart, industry, or mind. An act. That's why the book of Acts is called the book of Acts, because it's the word act. That's where you get the word action from. To do, deed. My will is to do my will, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. He that endureth to the end. Thing done. The idea of working in what? In the ministry. It is emphasized in, what is that, OPP, that to that which is less than work, opposite to that which is less than work. You fall off, you go back into the world, you don't do the work no more, guess what? You're going to be destroyed. You die in this work, your works do follow you. Revelation 14. So now let's come back over here. Sixth verse, who will render to every man according to his deeds, to them who by patient continuance, to them who by patient, what's it say in Revelation 3:10? Thy patience, keep thy patience, right? You're not gonna take the charagma. To them who by patient continuance, let's look those words up. Patient continuance. Hop o on nay. Steadfast, continency, endurance. He didn't endure to the end. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose. You fall off of the truth, you're going to be destroyed. Judgment is on your head. And his loyalty to faith and piety, meaning, being humble, penitent by even the greatest trials and sufferings. So, Revelation 3, verse 10, that's a trial, that's a test, whether you're going to take it or not. You might wind up being homeless. You might, the Most High said he's going to protect us anyway in famine. Now, there's many scriptures on that. Thy servant shall eat. So we're trusting in the Most High. Like I said, a lot of you guys that's in this thing, if you're not of the elect, the chosen elect, you're going to fall off. Patiently and steadfastly, a patient, steadfast waiting for the Lord. A patient, enduring, sustaining perseverance. Perseverance. So let's come back. So he's not talking about Edomites, man. He's not talking about other nations. '27 verse, to them who by patience continuance in well-doing seek. What is it talking about? To do this work. You get this work, eat the roll, and go out teach the sons of Israel, which represents daughters of Israel as well. Seek for glory and honor and immortality, to live forever, eternal life. But unto them that are contentious, the scoffers out there, the ones that buck up, oh, you broke this down wrong, you broke that down wrong. Judgment is over your head. And a lot of you already received judgment and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first and also the Gentile. What does it mean by Gentile? An Israelite that grew up not knowing that he was an Israelite, but now he's coming into the fold that he's an Israelite. That's what Acts 13 chapter is all about. Read the whole chapter, but you can start from the 40th verse on down. How the Israelites, the Jews, were envious of the Gentiles. Those were Israelites. Was that Acts 21? Paul led them into the inner temple. You had an outer court, then you had an inner court. He led those Greeks into the inner court. Those Greeks were Israelites. The Greeks that followed the Lord during that feast in, John, I believe it's John 12:19. There was a feast, and then the wicked scribes and Pharisees say, the whole world goeth after him. They're talking about the whole planet Earth of Israelites? No, it's talking about Israelites in general. The ones that knew that they were Israelites and the ones that came into the fold. the Roman centurion who had a sick servant, that individual was an Israelite. Now, it doesn't say he was an Israelite, but you know he's an Israelite because the Most High is not going to heal another nation. He's not going to heal an Edomite. The Syrophoenician woman was an Israelite. Her daughter was an Israelite. Why would the Lord? But she was like a Gentile Israelite. She really didn't know that she was it, but she recognized the Lord through the Spirit. What is that? Romans 8:16. They know through the Spirit that was the Lord, but it wasn't given to them at that time. When was it opened up to all of them? With the last great commission. What is that? Matthew 28 and 19, if I'm not mistaken. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first and also to the Gentile. Meaning what? An Israelite that knows the Israelites, and then the Israelites that are coming back into this knowledge. For there is no respect of persons, meaning the Lord, he's coming to save the Israelites and the ones that didn't know they were Israelites that are now coming into the fold. For as 12 verse, for as many as have sinned, what is without law? That's talking about the Gentiles. They broke the law not knowing that they broke the law. But there's certain laws that they know inside of them not to let me see something. I gotta look for that. I believe that that's Romans 2. Romans 2. Let's see if I got the right one. Okay, here's Romans 2, verse 14. For when the Gentiles, Israelites, coming into the fold, which have not the law, statutes, and commandments, do by nature the things contained in the law. Meaning, before you became an Israelite, you knew in your spirit a man wasn't supposed to lay down with man. That's in your nature. Now Esau, he'll go ahead and Edomite man, go ahead and lay with an Edomite man. Now these Jakes that do it, these low down Jakes, these women that do it, and a lot of you Jake women, 95% of you Jake women, you go both ways, and you proud about that shit. A lot of these Edomite women, they'll say they only go one way. But these Jake women, they freaky deaky. They'll go both ways. And it's not that they don't know. They know that it's damn wicked. Because you don't tell your parents about it, man. You don't bring, if a woman dealing with another woman, you ain't gonna bring that woman to your house at a damn reunion. Oh, this is my girl. But some of y'all do it because of the level of wickedness, of utter wickedness. It says, for where am I? Well, 10 verses says, there's a lot. This whole Gentile thing, but glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile, the Israelites. But there is no respect of persons with the Most High. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are law unto themselves, which show the work of, hold up now, which show the work of the law written in their hearts. So the law is partially written in our hearts. There's certain, it ain't, if to kill somebody, right? Unless it's a self-defense. But if you roll up on something, I'm gonna kill that nigga. Why? Just because I wanna. And you roll up and kill that person, an Israelite, you know that you did wrong. Unlike Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Jesse Jeffrey Dahmer, he knew what the hell he was doing. He knew he was the devil. He liked doing things like that because he's the devil. When he got locked up in the prison system, if you've been watching the thing, I watched parts of it. He's like right at home. What can you do to him? That motherfucker's right at home, man. You take bodies, dead homosexual bodies, you meet them in club, and good for them niggas anyway. Good for them niggas any damn way, because they knew what they were doing was not right. That's why the Most High gonna fucking kill you 2/3. Okay, which show the work of the law written. Jakes is in the low down, these female Jakes that goes both ways. They know what they're doing is wicked as hell, man. They know what they're doing is wicked as hell. Which saw the work of my sister was a Mo. She went, sometimes she was a dude, and then sometimes she was a damn woman. And the Most High took her ass out. So they said, "You want to come to the funeral?" See, I said, "Nope." They haven't called me since, man. This is years ago. They haven't called me. I'm on that pay no mind list with them. Because I understand what death is all about. Sounds funny. Would show the work of the law written in their what? In their minds. So the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 31 and 31 is partially written in us. We know that certain things you ain't supposed to do. You know, Jake knows not to eat pork. They just have a thing that they know not to eat, whether they heard it from the Muslims. I stopped eating pork long before I came to the truth, because the Muslims said that. And I said, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not going to eat no more pork. But I was still eating shrimp. But when I came to the truth, I stopped eating all that shit immediately. I didn't go cold turkey. And me, I just cut. I don't eat it no more. Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts, the meanwhile according, or else excusing one another. And the day when the Most High shall judge the secrets of men by Yahushua according to I'm not going to read all of it. The Jew is condemned by the Jew is condemned by the law. Okay, let me see here. I was going to go into another topic, but I'm going to get ready to close it. Where are we at? You really got to get into this. This is dealing, when you read the book of Acts, the book of Romans, the book of Corinthians, all these New Testament epistles, there's a lot of information in there, because these are mainly Paul, but these apostles, they were struggling, mainly Paul, because he was sent unto the Gentiles, which are Israelite foreigners. Behold, thou art called a Jew, talking to the Jews, the Israelites, the 3 tribes, and restest in the law, and maketh thy boast of the Most High. Because that's what they did. That's why they didn't accept the Gentile-minded Israelites, because they wouldn't keeping the law. That's why the Apostle Paul said what he said in Colossians 2. And knoweth his will, and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law. And are confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness, an instructor of foolish, a teacher of babes, which hath the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law. Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest not thou thyself. In other words, okay, it says, thou that preacheth a man should not still, doeth thou still. In other words, if you're going to push the law on them, you better damn well keep the law. The Lord said that you must exceed the how do you say that? The laws of the Pharisees. You must do more better than them when it comes to the law. That's what Paul said. Circumcised the 8th day, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, blameless. So what does it mean by circumcision and uncircumcision? It said, therefore, if the uncircumcision, the Gentiles coming into the fold, because Timothy became circumcised, right? And it was Titus that didn't become circumcised at that time. And even Paul said, don't make a bit. Acts 15, they had the Jerusalem Council, Acts 15, concerning can a person keep the Passover not being circumcised. They went to their heads, and the head said, you can keep it, but there's certain laws you got to keep. Don't eat things with blood in it. Don't do this. Don't commit adultery. But they didn't put a burden on them. They called that putting a yoke on them because they were coming into it. The first thing you got to get is Yahweh Shai. Therefore, if the uncircumcision, which are the Gentile Israelites, keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his unrighteousness be counted for circumcision. So that means you got to keep the whole law. It says, and show not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter in circumcision doeth transgress the law. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly. Who is he talking to? He's talking to the Jews that they circumcised on the 8th day, that they kept with the dietary law, that they kept the high holy days. Neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew. A true Jew is being circumcised in the heart. The Most High is going to change our stony heart into a heart of flesh and give us the laws. Because what happened with the woman that was about to be stoned for the act of adultery? The Lord wrote down, it doesn't say, but we know what it's talking about, the sins of these guys. These guys were saying, we're going to condemn, we're going to stone her for breaking the law. But he said, you laid with, mentioned probably the woman's name, you had adulterous relations with her, and you did this, and you stole that, and you lied to this. And they left because he called out, because they were hypocrites. They were phony. They were playing this holier than thou, but they really wasn't holier than thou. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. And circumcision is that of the heart, the inner heart, the spirit, the soul, the mind. In the spirit, you got it in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High. And that's what Matthew, the 23rd chapter, is all about. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.